It's time to let you guys into the secret of how I was a lapped rider at cyclocross races last year to 12 months later getting on the podium and constantly battling in the top 10 at cyclocross races. But before that, let's head out on the bike. So let's get into it. How did I turn my fitness around in 12 months? And I'm not going to leave you waiting for the biggest point. We're going to jump straight into it. And if you struggle with weight, nutrition, this is a little warning for you. But for me, I lost some weight. I lost about 11 kilos to be precise. When I became a dad, I decided to try and be a jacked dad so that when anyone comes near my little girl, I could, I probably couldn't do anything still.
If you want some, I'll give it you.
But I basically done way too many bicep curls and not enough bicycling. And the reason behind that was it was just time. I could easily get in the gym, do a 30-minute session and hit some curls for the girls, do some bench press, and I couldn't, I felt like I couldn't get any sort of training stimulus out of half an hour on the bike. And on top of that, I was doing things like taking creatine, and that massively blew me up. And we hear a lot about that in cycling. Oh, should you take creatine? Shouldn't you? The reality is, there's so many people out there nowadays spilling all this stuff like, you need to gain muscle, put on some weight because some Uno X rider done it and became a beast. What people need to realise, there's a massive difference between being heavily under-fueled and just being not at race weight. There's a difference. That guy was heavily under-fueling himself and not getting the most out of his training, whereas I was heavily smashing the protein and donuts and also not training. And I think for the vast majority of us, being at a lighter weight does help. That's just the reality of the sport, watts per kilo. And I listen to a lot of podcasts and it's so contradicting. 1 minute they're making a podcast about how they lost weight and gained on their FTP. The next week they're telling people not to lose weight and to focus on just getting your FTP up. Like, make up your bloody mind, world. What is it? But for me, I went from 80 kilos of bicep curls down to 69, good number, and it made the world a difference. 11 kilos is just night and day, and that was just without even having to do any bike work. It made things easier, as simple as that. Secondly, I have had in the last 3 years or so bloods done, and both times it came out that I had low iron. So this time I have religiously taken an iron supplement. Now, for those that don't know, iron helps hemoglobin, etc., transport oxygen to the muscles. If you can't get any oxygen to your muscles, you're gonna bloody struggle in endurance sports. And I think a lot of endurance athletes and cyclists probably have got low iron stores and they just don't know about it. I've just made sure that I've stayed on top of taking the iron supplement, and I haven't had my bloods done again since, so I can't give you like this 100% worked, but at some point I'm going to retest it, and I'm pretty sure that having the extra iron supplement has definitely helped boost my iron levels up. More oxygen to the muscles, more berries, more ponies, ladies and gentlemen. Thirdly, my training. Now, consistency is king. There's no shortcuts, there's no quick do this ride and you will get fit quick. And to be honest, it wasn't through cycling that I regained my fitness. I'd done it through running. I had a different goal, run a marathon, and the reason it worked for me, 5 to 6 hours of running a week is like quite a decent amount of training volume on your body and stress, and it's so much easier to get your heart rate up, especially when you haven't done that. And then sprinkling in some running intensity as well made a huge difference to my performance, my conditioning. It does not replicate riding a bike. You want to get fast on your bike, you better go and bloody ride your bike. It's as simple as that. You want to get fast at running, go run. What it did do for me though is get my cardio back up, get some endurance back in me, get used to breathing heavy, and then I just had a case of sprinkling in like maybe one interval session a week. Recently I started doing the absolute suffer series just to try and get a session in, but the fact that I was just consistently getting out and doing some endurance work with the running massively just helped, like aerobically, be used to that suffering, be used to being out of breath and getting my fitness back up a little bit. Number 4 was some equipment changes, or one equipment change in particular. In previous seasons I have always religiously just been on muds all season. Now, like, as you can see, it is November. Your boy is in a pair of bib shorts, so it's a lot warmer now, and we've had like 9 rounds of our league already, and the course conditions have been dry. You do not need muds. I've learned that this year. I've put intermediates on and I've raced pretty much every race, unless I've had to go in the pits to change bike. I've been on the intermediates, so the Victoria, Torino mixed I think they're called, and I've just noticed on the flat drags where I used to struggle massively, I still struggle now because I don't have the power, but you just got less resistance, more speed, and it's a game changer. It's one of those ones where it is hassle, like changing your tyres over and stuff, or you've got to be rich and buying spare wheels, but it definitely has made a difference on speed. And like, I've admitted defeat, I just liked running muds all year because I just knew it was just hassle free. I don't have a lot of time to be faffing about, so just getting the bike out of the garage and getting on it was the easiest thing. But it makes a huge difference on the flats and the draggy sections, any climbs, especially when it's dry. Number 5, adjusting my FTP and training zones. This was hard to do. I've just realized now I'm not the same athlete I was like 3 years ago when I was putting in 20-hour weeks, and I got my FTP up way over 300 at about 66, 67 kilos. I just don't have that power anymore, or that training volume in me. And last year I just left my FTP as what it was, and I sort of thought I can still do it, and I failed workouts miserably, which then led to me not wanting to do the next workout and stuff like that. So this year I accepted, and thanks to like Coros, I've got their head unit and watch. It gave me an FTP of about 280-ish watts, and it's been a game changer actually being able to finish sessions, and it's motivating getting to the end of a tough session and being like, yes, I actually finished it, rather than being really demoralized by the fact that you've just turned yourself inside out and failed on effort 1. So it's a bitter pill to swallow. None of us who have just become dads want to go and do a 20-minute FTP test, and we also don't want to drop our FTP because that's the bench press of cycling. But honestly, it's made such a difference. Drop it back, it's like 50 watts lower now, but my motivation to actually do tough sessions when I do them has gone up. And I'm not so like, it doesn't have to be a perfect session. Sometimes you just got to accept you're more tired, and I just give it what I've got on that day, or I adjust it and change the day that I'm going to do that hard session. And I'm like not trying to cram everything in, run, ride, be a top dad. You just got to accept that you've got to work with what you've got. Number 6, and lastly, I've learned how to race a lot smarter. It's as simple as that. Back long-term subscribers will know that I like to go out full gas, and I used to be even worse at it, and I'd just cling on to the front of the race at local league races for dear life for as long as I could, and then probably blow up, struggle for a bit, and then carry on. Now I still go out hard, but there's little things I know when to rein it in. I'm much better now. I'm much better at like understanding my body, knowing when to pull it back and conserve my energy. I hide a lot more. I'm going to be honest, I will suck a lot more along any bits that don't suit me, drags. I try not to be in the headwind. I also don't dive bomb as much as I used to. I try and keep the race as smooth as possible, because all of those big spikes and going way over threshold are what, when you haven't done a lot of training, really put me in the hole. So the smoother I can keep a race and not do stupid things just helps me be faster throughout the whole race, rather than being 0 to 0. But you still got to get beans, ain't you, off the start? That's part of the fun. And that is the 6 steps that have taken me from lapped rider, back battling in the top 10, back on the podium, sort of 5th place over the last 12 months. And I'll be honest, the background of doing all those hours has probably helped me still be pretty fit and doing the running and stuff. But I know now, for me to take that next leap up, I definitely need to get on the bike more, put some structured training in on the bike rather than running as much. But I'm finding that difficult still, timing, etc. But we'll make it happen. Let me know if you've got any tips that have massively helped you build fitness when you've lost time or become a parent. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.